The law enforcement's quest to depose New York's mobsters reached its peak in the mid-1980s. These mobsters lead a seemingly normal life among ordinary citizens, but were capable of committing cruel crimes for money and left no stone unturned when they felt wronged. Welcome back to Documentary Recap. In today's video, we'll be going through an American true crime docuseries that explores the dark side of mobsters titled Fear City, New York versus the Mafia from the year 2020. In the very first episode, there's a brief history narrated about 1970s New York, which was considered a lawless city plagued by mysterious murders, toxic drugs, and violence. This episode also introduces a reporter named New York Fear City. The narrator then starts to discuss control, dominance, money, and 5 untouchable mafia families: Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese. That seemed to be strong enough to hold the city in their grip. It's a hectic and tedious task for the FBI officials to topple the mafia from their position. Curtis Sliwa briefly explains how the mob ruled the city in the 1970s. He also calls them frightening days. Following this, Johnny Late, who was an ex-mobster, tells us the story about how he was brought in by the mob at a young age to snatch money from random people. In this episode, we can understand that the FBI officials are quite confused about how the group of mobsters has cycled the money in different ways. On one side, the FBI is going hammer and tongs to catch the mobs red-handed. On the other side, the mobsters are dealing with the FBI as a game. They also know that the game was all about, if they get caught, then we get arrested. It's a tough road to hoe for the FBI to engage in, especially with the complex family structures, which made it so difficult to reach the mob leader, the anonymous boss. In an attempt to catch the American crime boss, Paul Castellano, the successor to the Gambino crime family, a cable man is sent by the FBI into this house to fix the bad TV feed and secretly keep a microphone in the cable box to record everything. Then a greeting card is also sent by the FBI to Paul just to engage in psychological warfare. But Paul cleverly tackles the FBI agent. The second episode opens up with the FBI planning to tap all of the 5 mob families and develop a RICO case against each one of them. Then the story turns the viewer's attention towards Gennaro Langella, who's the acting boss of the Colombo mob family. He used to go to a restaurant every Friday, and that was a spot where the Colombo family always held their meetings. Thus, the FBI hatched a plan to sedate a guard dog in the restaurant to place bugs. Rudolph Giuliani is introduced in this episode, who was appointed U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. It would have been very simple for him to become one among the mob family, but he had a strong hatred towards the mafia and had a passion for justice. In this episode, it seems that the FBI is all set to start another intriguing chapter where Rudolph, Michael Chertoff, and John Savarese work as a team to use RICO and indict the crime bosses of all 5 mob families at the same time. The third episode starts with New York getting a makeover. The city is busy in all directions with a lot of construction projects worth billions of dollars that the mobsters are exploiting. The FBI overhears the talk of one of the Colombo crime family soldiers, Ralph Scopo, though the bug that stayed hidden at the restaurant table. Ralph was a key player and also played the role of president of the Concrete Workers Union. At this point, Ralph talks something about the Concrete Club, which has a connection to 8 companies. With this, the mob family will be earning nearly $1 billion. But this evidence is not enough for the FBI. Thus, they go in search of the palm prints to tie Carmine Galante's murder to the Commission, the governing body of the Mafia. The FBI continues its investigation for months, collecting evidence to convict the mobsters. During this time, many lawyers get death threats and they are taught how to use a gun. At the trial, the jury arrives at a verdict and finds them guilty. Although there is a worry that the mob may have got to the jurors, justice is finally served, and the final episode of the docuseries ends with attorney Rudy Giuliani being appointed as the mayor of New York from 1994 to 2001. What do you think about this documentary? Comment below.